Hey everyone, welcome to Hard Truths, a podcast of opinions. I'm Kiro, Glensky's on the left over there, and today we have Skak with us as a guest. Unfortunately, he has no webcam right now, so you just gotta picture what he looks like. How you been, guys?
I've been good. How are you?
Yeah, hi. What's up?
I'm chilling, brother. I'm chilling. I got interesting topics for us today. I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Okay.
All right, so I wanted to start things off with like a silly conversation to have, and it's I don't know if you guys pay attention, but I love Taco Bell, right? And Taco Bell has been messing up a lot recently, taking away all my favorite things to eat. But I saw on the news that the potato Rito is coming back on like the 14th. How do you guys feel about that?
Uh,
Fiesta potatoes away. I was so sad, but they literally. I know it's all because of circumstances, but fucking hell, man! Literally everything I eat at Taco Bell, and I work there, so I know what I like, and they took every single thing away.
oh boy. Not a big. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not a big Taco Bell fan. Um, I honestly don't eat Mexican food because of the spiciness at times. It bothers my stomach, so I don't really have much of a comment on that. To be honest with you.
White
Um,
boy.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Bro, okay.
I'm just a pizza lover now, dude. I'm sorry.
The potato Rito, do you know what it is?
I don't. You're gonna have to tell me.
All right, it's a burrito with a shit ton of potatoes in it and double beef
Okay.
and
I mean, that does
cheese.
kind of sound good.
Like,
Maybe I'll have to try it.
and they're only going to be $1,
Oh,
which means they're only
get
going to
like,
be there for like a month. But
yeah, that's true.
I am so excited. Are you going to get a bunch, Skak?
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
I I just hate how they fucking everything good that they bring is only temporary.
Bro, bring back the sriracha chicken crunch wraps, dude. That's what I want. I'm so upset.
I could tell.
Okay, when the sriracha chicken crunch wraps were like a part of the Taco Bell menu, this was what, like 4 or 5 years ago, Skak?
Something like
Every
that.
day after work, I would get off and I'd go immediately to Taco Bell and I'd buy five of them bitches. And then the next day, when I was on my way to work, I would buy five of them bitches. And then I'd get off work and I'd go to Taco Bell and I'd buy five of them bitches. And they were amazing. And it's just, oh, dude, I miss them.
And you still weigh 130 pounds.
Okay, I'm 165 right now. Okay,
Okay, all right, all right.
so get fucked.
My bad. My
Get
bad.
fucked.
For
Put some
me, it was
respect.
for me it was the shredded chicken burritos. I can't believe that they're gone.
Wait, they're gone?
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh yeah, they got rid
And
of shredded chicken entirely, didn't they?
the one thing that they got rid of that I'm glad they got rid of though is the Mexican pizzas. Those things were absolutely nasty.
That was a thing.
But
Yeah.
everyone I know likes them. I'm the only one that hates them.
Oh boy.
What? Wait, okay, real quick. I've never had one. What is a Mexican pizza?
It was like a hard. It was annoying to make. Don't even get me started. So you would take their stupid their red sauce was like what they used as the marinara sauce, and they took like two hard taco shells and used that as like the base and the topping. They had like cheese and meat and fucking all this other shit and fucking this.
Doesn't even
The way you
sound good.
cut it, you had to cut it too, and it's a hard taco shell. It's just gonna shatter,
Yeah.
and it was not fun. Not a fun time.
All right. Well, fuck that noise.
I applaud the person who came up with it because, of course, you can cut a hard taco shell, dude. Like, come on, just got to do it right.
Like hard, flat, like it was so annoying.
Well, talking about hard things, let's transition over to the first real topic of this podcast.
Okay.
Luka Doncic and his performances recently. I mean, over the past couple of years, honestly, hard to defend. He's hard to play against. What do you guys think about somebody as young as him, as non-athletic as him, doing as well as he does?
I mean, I'll start and say that I kind of think like, I mean, I don't know. That NBA is kind of transitioning towards that though. Like, I know Steph's athletic and everything, but he ain't LeBron or Giannis, you know? Like, but he still is like one of the best players in the league and has been. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think there's like just a play style change, you know? and he just makes his shots. To be honest, like that's just why he's so good.
Dude, he's shooting like over like the last 20 games or something, close to 40% from three.
Because if you look at it, like Steph wasn't really noticed for the longest time until he started making all those shots, from deep, and then like now Luka's like making all his shots. It's not necessarily like he's going to the hoop or anything.
That's true. I mean, yeah, he is though. Like, I don't know if you.
I mean, he does, but like not as much as you would like say 10 years ago.
Luka's a big boy, dude. Like, he's 6'8".
I know he's a big boy, but like when you say athletic, like he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not Giannis or LeBron. So like,
Bro, I think I jump higher than him.
yeah, yeah.
How do you
And
guys?
so
You
I
go.
think it's just a playstyle change, like the transition in the NBA. I don't think it's like I don't know. It's
I
more
mean,
acceptable to shoot from deep now and like
shooting
be
is
that
definitely
way.
the norm.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, how do you think that he factors into like the Mavericks' success? Because
It only took him a year to get him to playoffs, no?
yeah, I think so.
Like his
Something like
rookie
that.
season, he didn't, but believe his sophomore he did.
Bro, who did he have his rookie season? Like,
No one.
No idea.
who do they have right now? Like, Porzingis is a bust. I'm gonna be real.
Mm, they don't. I mean, they have a bunch of like guards. I'm trying to
Like
think of who
Boston.
else. Um, they don't really have a ton. I would say.
Like, okay, let's say the
I really just
offseason.
think it comes down to him being like a good shooter on top of the fact that he's just a really smart player.
True, true. Got decent handles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like. He's young and he's got to be top 10 in the league right now. I couldn't think of like 10 other people better than Luka Doncic. You know what I mean?
That's a
No.
different conversation.
What?
That's a different
Oh yeah, that's
conversation.
definitely a different conversation. But like, I just don't see them going very far. I don't know. Like, what's the overall value of Luka right now?
I think if you put him on a different team, for sure, like, I don't know, for sure, deep playoff run. I just don't think he's on a team that he can get full success on, I guess.
It's like, okay, they're in the West, so who would they have to beat? Obviously, they'd have to beat the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns, um,
Nuggets.
the Nuggets, the
Yeah,
the Jazz. Like, I just don't. I don't know. I can't. I don't even think I see them beating any of those teams in like a 7-game series.
probably not.
And I don't think that's necessarily his fault.
It's not. I agree with you. I don't think it is. I think it's just like comes down to who he has around him.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers series, was that did they win 1 or 2 games? I forget.
Didn't they take that to 7 games
Did they?
last
I'm,
year
I'm,
in the bubble?
I'm figuring
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they took them to 7 games because the Clippers had like they had 2 teams take them to 7 games. I think them and the Nuggets or something, if I remember correctly.
I'm looking it up right now.
I don't know what you do. Like, who do you pick
It
up
was
in the
it
offseason?
was 6 games. It
Six
was
games.
4-2.
Okay.
Clippers won 4-2.
Like, who pairs well with Luca? Do you think?
I think. I mean,
Other players that can also make their shots.
I
He can do a lot of shit.
oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think he needs like a good big man. You know what I mean? To draw attention away from him, I guess would be my opinion. Because right now, like you said, Porzingis is like overrated in my opinion.
hmm
And if he had like, I don't even know, like trying to think of an example, like Embiid or like at least Aiton or someone like that to like if he threw it down there to them and they get a double team and then they could pass it back out. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
I feel like him having a big man that's like good and could do things more than Porzingis would help open up his offensive game a little bit more.
So do you think he needs like an Embiid, like you said, or do you think it would be better if you had someone who could stretch at the 5? Like, I know Anthony Davis is a bitch and he hates playing the 5, but when he plays the 5, he can stretch the floor because he can hit threes. Like, and do you think we need somebody like that for Luca, or do you think he needs somebody who's going to sit on the block and just gravitate people towards
Well,
him.
that's what I'm saying. I would trust Luca to be able to hit the shots he needs to hit, right? So
Hmm.
in my opinion, I feel like it's the Embiid type,
Okay.
not the Anthony Davis type. I mean, I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts, but
Well, Skak, who else is there besides Embiid? Because Embiid's never going to leave the Sixers. That's just not going to happen.
No, I mean like there's not a lot of big men in the league that can be, that I know of at least,
Zion.
that are worthwhile, not worthwhile, like
yeah, I mean, what about
enough
like
to go to from each team, because each team needs a fucking big man that doesn't have one already. Let's be real. The Celtics have that struggle.
I kind of feel like Drummond would work in some occasions too, like just because he can rebound and he's like a threat down there, you
Hmm.
know? Like not even that he's like amazing. Like I mean he's good, but he's not amazing. But
But I
like
mean,
him, I'm trying to think who else. Like there's really isn't a lot out there like that, but I think he would benefit from someone like that the most.
the Zion idea is kind of, I like that.
Like I'm definitely big on like okay, when I look at Luca, I look at like a slightly bigger, uh, slightly inconsistent James Harden, in that a lot of his
Right.
plays seems to come from like high isolation ball
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like a put me in a position where I can one on one with somebody and I'll beat them in a one on one. And when you like try and build around that, the hard and obviously he's a great passer, but it's hard in my opinion because you don't have a Steph Curry where Steph Curry is like insanely good at any point in time in a play. Like if he has the ball in his hands, he has great handles. Picks are going to come. They're going to try and get him open so he can shoot off the dribble. If the ball's not in his hands and Draymond's running the fucking offense, then he's running off ball. He's moving like a little rabbit, just running around the court. There's going to be a bunch of like back screens and like staggered screens to get him open, and you can deal with all that. And Steph doesn't have to be the focal point of the offense, which is why Kevin worked with him. But with Luca,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he has to be the focal point of the offense, and that's where it gets hard building around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you
No,
think
I
about
agree.
the picks, the two most recent players that I know of that they've picked up, being Josh Richardson and JJ Redick?
I don't know how I feel about JJ. Like I understand why they picked him because he's gonna hit his shots,
Yeah,
and he's a Steph kind of player. He will run. You know what I mean? And he's somebody that you basically, if you either give him his shots and just accept that he's going to drop 25 on you, right? Or you have somebody just stick on him at all times and follow him through every screen and all that stuff. And if you do that, then Luca does have a little bit more flexibility in his slashing because generally speaking, there's at least one player that he knows isn't going to be guarding him or coming to double team. I don't know much about like I don't know how the Richardson pickup changes things. I don't know. Like, what do you think, Glenn?
I don't think it helps them really that much, you know?
they did lose Seth Curry for it.
Which was a big loss. I don't know why they got rid of him.
Yeah. I feel like he would have been better.
Like, he's just gonna hit his shots. Like, you put him in the
Yeah.
corner and he's gonna hit that shot.
Right.
And I don't see Richardson doing that. I mean, Richardson's gonna be a better defender for sure. He's bigger than Seth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a weird conversation. I'm not sure what changes they would have to make, but it'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason this year. Talking about.
I think they need a draft pick that's like
Mhm.
a forward at least, you know, or a big man. I think that might help a little bit,
I'm
but
not. I'm
we'll
not
see.
super hyped about this draft. Like this upcoming draft. I'm gonna be real. Like I'm not like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
There's a couple guys, Garza from Iowa, you know,
Hmm.
like 7 foot, whatever, two, I think. He's really good.
Can he
Yeah,
shoot?
are
That
the
would be the
Mavs gonna
ideal
even get
big
that pick?
man. What?
How likely are the Mavs gonna get that though? Yeah,
True.
Yeah, I don't know. They also, I mean, he won the Naismith Player of the Year in college, so
Like,
he's good.
what do they have in terms of trading assets? Because they're too good to get a good pick.
Well, I feel like
So
they could trade Reddick.
I don't know though. Like he's getting older. What team's gonna give him
they,
a good?
and he's injured right now.
Do they still have Hardaway and like
Yeah,
Trey
they have
Burke and those
Hardaway.
guys?
They have Hardaway, Brunson.
You can't get rid of Hardaway because he's literally
Yeah.
like the third option. Well,
Yeah.
generally he's the second because
Yeah,
Porzingis
I
doesn't
mean
show up.
Brunson. I mean, you could get rid of Brunson, but he's like he hasn't really shown much, and he was supposed to be like really good, and he hasn't really done much. So maybe him, I
That's true.
guess.
Trey
Draft
Burke.
for future draft picks, maybe.
Yeah, like maybe a couple years in the future, kind of thing.
Yeah,
All right,
because
well,
I think they're in a situation. All right, I have one more thing.
go
I
for it.
think they're in a situation where they want to like try to win now. You know, like that's
Hmm.
just the way their team's built. And if you go through rebuild, Luca's probably gonna want to leave.
True. Like, why would he stay, right?
Yeah.
And
So
they could win right now. Like, okay, real quick, like never gonna happen scenario. Let's say Luca stayed on the Mavericks and somehow the Mavericks got like Paul George to come in. And then
right.
they sign like JaVale McGee or DeAndre Jordan or like anybody like that, maybe even a Blake Griffin. And then you had those two bigger guys that can draw attention away from Luca, and then Luca doing all of his stuff. That team could make it to the finals.
Oh yeah.
It's just you can't pick up any of those people because the Lakers have Andre. The Clippers aren't going to let go of Paul until they just decide to blow it up because they spent so much money on that.
Mm.
So it's like that's just none of that's going to happen. Blake Griffin just got signed. Like he's not going anywhere. So it's just I don't know. I think they're in a weird
And
situation.
apparently the Mavericks front office only likes guys from Europe, so that might not work out either.
True, man, Dirk.
Yeah.
They're just trying to find the next Dirk.
Yep.
Well, talking about moves, I got a couple moves I want you guys to talk about real quick. As people don't know this, but it is the case. I'm a huge Lakers fan. Right, been a Lakers fan since I knew what basketball was. And the Lakers have recently signed Ben McLemore, and obviously the Drummond pickup. How do you guys feel about that and what it does to the team?
I think the Drummond pickup will help the team for sure. Um, I don't know. I don't know much about Macklemore to be honest.
Exactly. I'm the same. I mean, I only got into basketball just last year,
I
so
know Drummond pretty well because he was on my Pistons for a long time.
yeah.
God bless anyone on that roster, but so yeah, I mean, he's a good rebounder and he's a threat down low. Beyond like the paint, he really doesn't do much besides set screens. But I think it'll help free up LeBron, maybe even, or anyone on that team a little bit more. Caruso, Anthony Davis will probably get more open looks because they got to deal with Drummond. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
that's my opinion on that.
Well, I'll give you guys a little like brief rundown of Ben McLemore. He's
Okay.
uh he's he's not been doing well recently, but historically he's a really good 3-point shooter in catch and shoot situations. So
Hmm.
drive and kicks are going to be really good for him, especially when he's in the corner or he kind of likes it from closer to the like the arch, you know what I mean? And he'll generally knock those down if he's not contested. He's also very athletic. I mean, he competed in the dunk contest in 2014. He's got hops. He's strong and he's not tiny. Like he's got good size on him. So that's what you would want out of a defensive player. And they obviously have Vogel. So they're a defensively minded team. And last year they were a great defensive team. This year they're a great defensive team. I think they picked him up because they needed somebody who could actually hit a shot because Kuzma can't hit shots. Uh, Caruso can't hit shots. You know, like KCP can't hit shots. I could go down the list. LeBron can't hit shots. Like, so they
Yeah.
needed somebody who could shoot.
Yeah. As long as he develops into his role on that team, I think it's solid. But you got to figure, they picked him up to be like a role player, come off the bench, like maybe even a momentum player to start hitting shots,
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't fill that role properly, it's just going to be a waste. But if he does, it'll be perfect.
Well, they did get him for pennies, and he's their
Yeah.
last roster selection. So, like,
Okay.
I think it was a pretty good thrift sign up. The reason they picked up Drummond is dumb, and it irritates me as a Lakers fan. It's because Anthony Davis refuses to play the five.
Right.
And so to make him happy, they picked up a five, you know? And it's
Yeah, I mean, but it's not like it was a terrible pickup in my opinion. Considering you have the Nets in the East now, they might need him when they get to that point.
I'm just worried about like
Because I do see them in the finals again this year.
you do.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is okay, you take the people who are scoring on the Lakers, right? You have Anthony Davis, you have LeBron James, and you have somebody else. Sometimes it's Kuzma, sometimes it's Schroeder. Schroeder's been doing really well. Like that's a whole other conversation. I'm super impressed with Schroeder. But and you look at how they get their points. Like a majority of LeBron's points, if we're being real, are driving to the basket
Right.
and using his size and his athleticism to get dunks and layups. Right, as he's getting older, they're more layups, but he's still huge.
That's
Mhm.
still like for him probably the highest percentage shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could shoot threes and he's worked on it a
Yeah.
lot and like he's consistent, but the dude's not going to just start chucking it from the logo, right?
Hmm.
And then you have Anthony Davis, who's a through and through big man. Like, yeah, he can shoot, he can kind of dribble, but he's 7 feet tall. He's kind of goofy when he tries to drive. So he wants to back people down. He wants post game action. He wants mid rangers. You know what I mean? He wants to use his
Right.
7 foot height to take advantage of pretty much anybody who's not as big as him. And then you put Drummond on that floor on the court with those players, and he's only really effective 5 feet in front of the basket.
Right.
And so what is he gonna do? He's gonna clog up the driving lanes. He can't just fall to the corner because no one's gonna guard him because they know he's not gonna take that shot. And so that's where I'm
I think
worried.
I agree with you there, but I think they'll set him up for more screen plays to get him off of the block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see it. A lot of Dennis
That
Schroeder
might help
picks.
a little bit, and also it opens up the out like the mid range shot too. If you have him down there, I mean, I don't know. It does feel kind of weird, but at the same time, I don't think it was a bad pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on it. I guess I'm just worried.
I mean, there's a right to be worried because it could change their whole offense.
Mm-hmm. And it's late. Like it's really late to be
Yeah,
just
it's
changing
late.
things.
Yeah, it is late, but
Well, if we're talking about who's winning, the next discussion I wanted to have was who's winning it all this year. And if you think the Lakers are making it to the finals, who do you think they're playing?
the Nets. I don't know. I mean, those are the Lakers and Nets. That's what I'm going with right now.
In the
Personally, I'd like to see the Nuggets, but that's just you know.
What do you
I
think they
think
could
we'd
beat the
all like to
Lakers?
see the Nuggets, but
I mean, I'd like to see it.
Okay, look at the matchup real quick. Okay, so you got Jokic versus who? Anthony Davis,
yeah,
maybe Drummond, but you have what Murray being guarded by a scrub pretty much because Schroeder can't guard, Kuzma can't guard, Caruso is gonna do what he can, but like he's just not athletic enough, I think, to keep up with Murray, right?
Hmm.
Like I think you got Michael Porter Jr. baby,
yeah, that
like
is good. I think, uh, I think the X factor in that series would be Murray. I think he has to like really play well for them to beat the Lakers. But
He's shown that he's pretty good in the playoffs, though. So yeah.
yeah, he has, and he played well this. He's been playing well this year. Um, I think I think he's the X factor
so are we
right
just like
there.
hard just saying no
I
Jazz,
mean,
no Suns?
I like the
Yeah,
Suns. I
I
like the
do
Jazz
like the
too, but
Suns,
I
but I
don't think
don't
so.
think they have enough to beat the Nuggets or the
I
Lakers.
I'd just like to see a rematch of last year's playoffs in the West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, real quick, we didn't even talk about them. The Clippers. They don't have the potential to make it to the finals.
I mean, I don't see them beating the
Not with
Lakers.
Pandemic P.
I mean, if they get to
Oh,
the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers, however the bracket looks, I don't see them beating the Lakers.
that's true. I mean, Kawhi would have to have a monster series. Like,
Everyone else has a fucking monster
Yeah,
series.
considering Paul George is going to drop 2 points per game.
oh no, I like Paul George, man. I got his
I,
shoes.
I do like Paul George, but man, he has just shown me recently that he did not deserve all that money he got.
He's man, he was so good on the Pacers too. Like I know you didn't know this guy because you didn't watch back then, but like
Nope.
the
No, he
Pacers,
was great on the Pacers, but I think that switch and him going to the Clippers is just I don't know if he fits there.
I think, because like there were some legendary Pacers Heat games back when
Oh
LeBron was
yeah.
on Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Paul George is missing is a Roy Hibbert. Like let's be real,
Yeah.
he needs a big dude.
Which the Pacers still have two of them.
That's true.
So if he ever went back, he might fit perfect.
I
With
don't.
who else do they have? Don't they have Brogdon now? Or they get rid of him?
Do they have Brogdon?
I think so.
I think you might be right.
Oh
I
no,
don't
they
know.
have old. No. Yeah, no, they got
Wait,
rid of
the
Oladipo,
Pacers
right?
right now? Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
Yeah,
Brogdon, they have Sabonis,
yeah,
they have Turner, they have
the bonus is good, man. I don't care what anyone
yeah.
says.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm saying, but he would if he went back, he'd have Turner and Sabonis.
That's true. That could be a good team. I don't know. I don't think George can be the number one guy on a team. I think that he needs somebody else to like shoulder the weight, and then he can just do his own thing on the side.
Mm.
Right.
And Kawhi Leonard is too like quiet to be that guy. You
Yep.
know, like the Raptors had Kyle Lowry, and that dude is leader. He's leadership like born, personified, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. I think Kyle Lowry is way more like important than people give him credit for. Like he might not be the best basketball player, but he's a leader. You know what I mean? The East is where I think it's a little open. I'm gonna be real. I agree with you guys. I think the Lakers are coming out of the West. The only person, the only team that can give them like a hurdle that they have to get over is maybe the Nuggets. But who knows if the Nuggets just don't show up? You know?
I mean, the Nuggets last year, I mean, it was a 4-1 like series, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the scores were consistent. It was just they needed more, scores than Murray and Jokic.
Well, MPJ needs to blossom and have like a
Porter wasn't there.
like he needs to blossom and like really show that he's going to be that guy on the team. And if that happens, then maybe we see the Nuggets in the finals. But even then, the LeBron factor is still a thing, you know. And he could just win them a game like that, and that gets them all the way through. I don't see the Jazz doing it because who do they have besides Donovan Mitchell to like score? Because you have to outscore the other team to win, right?
Mike Conley, but like he'd have to play really good.
I don't see that happening.
Do you
Uh,
think Clarkson's gonna get six man
maybe.
of the year?
Who else? Who else could really like beat him out for it?
I don't know. Probably
No
no
one comes
one.
to mind.
Yeah, like nobody like immediately jumps to mind. Maybe Schroeder. I don't know like how many games he because he wasn't starting for a long time. He was the six man, and I don't know how many games you have to play to like in the sixth position to get to like qualify for the award. But like a majority of the season, he did play as the six man, and then they moved him to the starting. So like if he qualifies for it, I could see him winning it because he was averaging like almost 20 points a game as their six man.
Right now the odds are saying like in the top five, it's Clarkson, Harrell, Hero, Terrence Ross, and Chris Boucher.
Oh, then Clarkson just wins it, right?
I would say so.
But to hop over to the East real quick, because I think we're pretty much unanimous that we
Apparently
think.
Hero's in the lead right now, though.
I don't
Which
know,
is
man. Hero's like, I don't think he counts as a six man. I wouldn't vote for him if I was in the media. You know
as
what I
of
mean?
the 16th of March.
Like, I wouldn't vote for him, but that's just me, maybe.
So this is a bit outdated.
Fucking who the East real quick. I think the East is the open one. I think that one's the one that nobody knows. Like everyone's saying the Nets are gonna do it, but
And like
James.
so many teams are fighting for just being in the playoffs in general.
Mhm. I
It's
just,
funny.
dude, James Harden always disappears in the playoffs, like every single year. Like it's the most consistent thing about him. Like playoffs are gonna come, he's gonna just disappear. Kevin Durant might not even play. Like the dude's injured, and like no one's talking about that he's like seriously injured because you don't come back from an Achilles and just like brush it off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know Kyrie Irving, and you know he's gonna go 3 of 27 in one of these games. So I could definitely see them losing in like the first round. I'm gonna be honest.
Uh, I mean, besides the Nets, I like the Sixers, I guess. Then,
Yeah. No Bucks love.
dude, they just. I don't know, man. Something about them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals and they just don't do well.
What about the Heat, man?
I
The
mean,
Heat are
yeah,
in the
but
fucking mix right now for
yeah, they're
like
not
fourth
even
place
like
down. It's just
they'd
so
really have to
close.
show up in the playoffs.
Like
I don't know what
Jimmy
happened, but
G buckets, baby. Jimmy buckets. Don't disrespect my man buckets, dude. Like he'll show up. You know.
oh, yeah. I mean, I don't doubt it.
I don't know. I'm not super high on the Nets. I'm gonna be real.
Okay. I mean,
Like, what do you
yes, I
guys
think the
think?
East is. I think the East is more open,
Exactly.
but I think the Nets are still the favorite, not my Nets, because I'm, you know, I'm a Pistons fan and they haven't been relevant for like 15 years now. Um,
I find it
uh,
funny that the Celtics might not even make the playoffs if fucking like
The Celtics need to implode, dude. I'm gonna be real.
that's crazy.
They need to restart and figure out what direction they need to go in, and you guys need to
yeah,
fire your GM. Like, just straight up.
Like we're seventh right now, but the eighth, ninth, 10th position could easily catch up.
I heard a hot
Knicks,
take
Pacers, Bulls.
on Twitter the other day, Skak, and I kind of want your opinion on it. The hot take was the Celtics need to pick between Tatum and Brown and get rid of the other.
I mean, I think both can do very well together. I think the issue isn't either of them; it's the rest of the team.
I think what they were getting at, the guy on Twitter, is
Is
that
don't think two forwards can like the two forwards can work.
no, that they are the same player.
They're the same player.
They do the same kind of moves, they have the same kind of play style, and they just kind of take up each other's spots. And so Brown's been playing very consistent, and Tatum hasn't. And maybe that's why Tatum hasn't, is because he's having to share his spots with another person on the court, you know? I mean, we all agree that Kemba needs to go, but that's not going to fix everything. So, what do you think? Do you think that like the Celtics, as an organization, need to just figure out who they want to like make their guy, and then you could get some good stuff for either one of them, Brown or Tatum,
Exactly.
like for real.
uh,
Who like say like let's make up a fake trade. Say we do. I don't think Tatum's obviously the favorite, and I because I mean I know fucking I've talked to people at work. My family hates Jalen Brown.
I
People I work with love Kemba Walker,
don't know
but
why.
at the point I'm trying like here, let me just say something. Let's say that we do try a fictional trade for Jalen Brown.
Hmm.
We just traded what was it? Fucking Tice and Teague, I think. And we got Luke Cornett, Evan Fournier,
Hmm.
and Mo Wagner. I still don't think we have a great player at the big position. Robert Williams has been getting like 20 something plus minutes per game. And yeah, he's been doing okay, but
All
he's not
right,
what the team like
let's
I don't
say
feel
you
like
could do a trade right now, right? The Lakers would give
who would look for Jalen Brown? Who
the
would trade?
Lakers would give you Kuzma and somebody else, maybe even Dennis
Oh
Schroeder
god.
or Brown. I guarantee it.
I no, I do not want Kuzma.
I'm just saying they would give you
I hate
Kuzma
Kuzma.
and Dennis Schroeder for Jalen Brown. I guarantee it. Because then LeBron would just move to the one and he'd play point guard like he's very comfortable doing, and they would have Brown come in and play LeBron's position.
It just makes the Lakers better in my opinion.
The exactly.
I,
uh, but
I
we'd
don't
have to
see the
give you some
Celtics
stuff.
winning that trade.
We'd have to give you some stuff, is what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't just get Kuzma and Schroeder. You'd probably get Kuzma, Schroeder, another person, maybe some draft picks. You know.
Hmm.
What are some other teams? If the
now,
Heat,
okay,
go for it.
sorry. I was gonna ask Skag a question. Now you're saying that like you think if you were gonna trade Brown, it'd have to be for a big man, right?
Yeah, like a power forward or whatever. I think
Okay.
Tatum's a better 3 than a 4.
Okay. Um, there's just not a lot out there right now.
And
I don't
we
think you
the
guys need a
past
big
2
man.
years, exactly.
I
I
feel
think
like
the past 2 years we've drafted shooting guards slash small forwards.
Mhm.
Romeo Langford, Aaron Nesmith. We just drafted Peyton Pritchard. Uh, I hate Grant Williams. I feel like oh, dude, 6'6" center for power forward.
I don't think you guys need a big
Can't
man,
even
dude.
shoot.
I'm
He
gonna be
can't
real.
shoot. You think the issue is consistent defense maybe? Because we did drop. I did look at or I watched a video recently about how our defensive rating has significantly dropped
Mm-hmm.
since last year with loss of Gordon Hayward.
Because like you got to think about it like this real quick. What team in the NBA, like the entire NBA, is gonna destroy you guys because they have a big man? There's really only two. You know,
Yeah, sure.
the Lakers and the Nuggets. Like, because Giannis doesn't count because he plays almost as a point
you
guard.
don't think Embiid would do the same thing.
Nah, because he if you double him, like
I mean,
he kind of
when
struggles with it a
Embiid
bit.
literally last year playoffs, Embiid didn't make a difference. We it was what the first round for the
Hot take:
Celtics.
do you think the Celtics could
Swept.
use a guy like Christian Wood?
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I like that. I like that a lot. Actually,
I'm pretty big on Christian Wood.
No, I don't think the Rockets are gonna give him up, but
No, they're gonna move on
yeah, because the
probably.
Pistons just let him go.
bro,
Like, what a smart
I
choice.
can't believe I knew he wanted out of Detroit, but I can't believe he went to the Rockets
dude,
of all
anywhere is better
places.
than Detroit. Anywhere.
Look at what the Rockets just blew up in his face.
Yeah, but at least you live in Houston.
He went from a bad team to a team that's now in rebuild.
Yeah, but at least you live in
He went from
Houston.
okay, true, I guess, yeah, true.
Who wants to live in Detroit?
No one. That's the reason our teams suck.
Oh god, and the management just sucks, dude. Like if you go to Detroit, you're basically saying goodbye to my NBA career.
Did he leave in free agency? Was that
Yes,
it?
they let
Okay,
him
not
walk without even trying to give him anything.
Yikes. Dude, okay, so with the Celtics, like you have two big problems, man. I'm gonna be real. One of them is Kemba Walker. He just doesn't fit. And the other one is like what we were talking about. Tatum and Brown just don't fit together, I don't think. But I don't think it's a big man that's your guys' problem. I think it's
I mean, we have 4 big men. We
mhm.
definitely need more versatility at the same position. I mean, not same position. We definitely need either a better guard or a better power forward.
You guys need somebody who can run the offense. That's what you need. Like Kemba's not
Leader.
it. Kemba is like definitely there to score. You know what I mean?
You don't think he brings a good leadership? I mean, yeah, he's definitely not there for defense. Let's be real. But
They got
you
rid of
don't think
Kyrie
he's a good
Irving
leader?
and they replaced him with a shittier version of Kyrie Irving. Like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, who's somebody? Okay, if I could just magically make someone teleport to the Celtics, who? Ben Simmons. How's that sound?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Ben Simmons playing the one, running the offense. He can obviously defend, right? You give up Tatum or Brown, doesn't matter. As well as Kemba to the Sixers if this were to happen. He can run the offense. The Tatum or Brown, whoever stays,
I
gets
feel
his
like
space.
every Celtics fan everywhere would blow up at the idea of giving Kemba Walker and Tatum slash Brown for just Ben Simmons and
Yeah,
some
but the Celtics
other
fans are
stuff.
dumb, so
Exactly. True. True.
Wait,
I
what
don't
are
know, man.
fans? So that doesn't exist
If
here.
I mean, if I had to take a guess, I feel like
Glenn.
I feel like the organization probably values Tatum higher than Brown.
Dude, it feels bad too though because Brown is such a good player. Like
Brown's my favorite player on the Celtics.
he's done so well. I'm like, and you
Hell,
guys
we'll
have
take
Marcus
him.
Smart. What?
I
You'll
said,
take
hell, we'll
anyone.
take him.
Yeah,
You'll take
dude.
anyone.
You could get a Derrick Rose, like R.J. Barrett from the Knicks, Julius Randle. Like, there's options out there. I just don't see your guys' like front office making those decisions.
Speaking of the Knicks, not to derail this too far, but what's your guys' thoughts on the Knicks
I
and how
think
they've been
that
doing?
It doesn't matter how good the team is. The organization is so fucked that they're never going to be good. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, they've it's been a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
mean, I can agree with that, but I think like right now their team's trending upward. Um, I think Randall has really shown how good he is on
Mm.
that team.
Dude, we had him. The Lakers.
Yeah, you did.
I know you
And then
guys
they
did
went
have
to the
him. You
Pelicans.
drafted him, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, drafted,
bro.
and he got injured in the first game.
He broke his leg in the first
Yeah.
game.
Unlucky.
I'm so upset that we lost all of our good players, dude, just for this LeBron thing. Okay, and I'm happy.
Lonzo.
Yeah, we lost Lonzo, who's shown
Didn't
that he is a phenomenal floor general.
D'Lo
Yeah.
went from the Nets to the Lakers to the
Fuck
Timberwolves,
D'Lo, dude.
right?
D'Lo was never a good player. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I like D'Lo.
Washed. but
I like him.
but we lost to Brandon Ingram, who's
Oh,
obviously a
100%.
phenomenal
Now
scorer.
he's he's good now. Yeah.
We lost uh Hart, who was like he tried so hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what did we get for any of these guys? We got
LeBron.
we got LeBron and Anthony Davis.
And I got you guys a ring.
Now, yes, but now think about this. Imagine if they were all on the same team now after they're now
Yeah,
established
Randall.
players. They'd
Yeah,
probably
Randall.
still win the finals.
See, see, Glenn knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, we might win
They're
3,
all
4
young.
rings.
Yeah.
Like legit in the next 5 to 7 years, we might because LeBron still has like 5 years of being LeBron. You know what I mean? Maybe 3, depends on how his body does. So we have that. And we have Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is going to disappear a lot quicker than anybody else because he's 7 feet tall. And that's, you just can't keep that level of play up for 35, 36 years. Your body just starts to say no. When they disappear, right? When LeBron is no longer the greatest player in the league, and when Anthony Davis is no longer the best like sidekick in the league, who do we have? Nobody. We don't have picks because we're consistently a good team. We don't have any trade options because who's going to pay top dollar for LeBron James at 40 years old?
You'll have a bad, and then you'll probably get a number 1, number 2 pick.
Oh, what do you mean probably? The league will definitely make sure we get a number 1 pick.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like it's unfortunate that we gave up. We could have had a team that looked like Lonzo Ball at the 1, whoever at the 2, Ingram at the 3, Randall at the 4, whoever at the 5. That could have been our team. With Lonzo running the floor, Ingram scoring, and Randall scoring, that's a scary team. Like, in my opinion. With a good coach.
Well, that's what, and you gotta think about it. Like, you get what? Like, you're getting 10 years out of those guys.
At least.
And at the start, probably for cheaper than what you guys are doing now.
Oh, for sure. You think we're paying, like, Randall max?
No.
No way. But he's still going to be, like, a consistent 25, 12, and, like, 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's frustrating because we definitely, like, went all in on getting some rings now. And I'm happy that we are because we're going to have more rings than the Celtics. And fuck the Celtics. But, I'm just scared about the future, I guess, and where we're going to go from here. And it's not like there's anybody, like... Who would be like a big name signing in the next 5 to 10 years? Tatum?
Someone in Philly, someone in the Celtics probably. That
Luca if he leaves.
Exactly.
True. Luca would be a good
Zion,
pickup.
maybe? I don't know how
Zion,
the
maybe?
Pelicans are gonna pan out.
No, I think Zion's going to be with the Pelicans for a very long time. Like maybe
Ja?
Donovan Mitchell.
Ja?
They could pick up Ja,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't see like we haven't hit the next generational player in my opinion. Like Luca might be it, but we don't know. He's too
Right.
young. And I don't see anybody else. Like we don't have the next LeBron James. And I don't see the next LeBron James anywhere in the league yet.
The closest you have to that is Giannis.
But
Or
he's too
Zion.
old.
Yeah.
Giannis is already like he's old enough. This is Giannis. What you get is what
Yeah.
you get. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just saying the closest to LeBron is Giannis.
And like Zion is good, but he hasn't shown like the signs. The only person who's shown the signs, in my opinion, is Luca. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that, but like, do you guys see anybody
Yeah.
else that like has generational talent levels of like skill? Like I'm talking like LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, like Magic, those kinds of players.
That's like under 28 years old, or
Under like 26, honestly.
okay. Um, I'm just thinking. I off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, same. Skak?
Yeah, I really only Luca or Zion.
Like Luca for sure has shown. Like I mean, the leadership he showed in the playoffs, like his clutch abilities, like he definitely could be it, but I'm just not sure. I don't fully buy into like the Luca is the next goat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to see something. I need to see. I don't mean it in like a negative way, but it's gonna come out negative. I think I need to see more work ethic from Zion. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah.
he needs to drop like 30 pounds. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, he does need to lose some weight. I mean,
I think that comes from effort, right?
yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the playoffs, guys. My prediction will probably be like the Lakers versus Heat again. What about you guys?
Uh, Lakers nuts.
Okay.
It all depends on how the Nets perform, but in a perfect world, I'd like to see my two favorite teams, but that will not happen.
Small caveat for my prediction: if the Heat don't make the playoffs, then Lakers Nets.
Okay.
Small caveat, but if they do,
I'm
I'm.
sure they will, but they haven't seen the consistency out of them to like put them in the finals, I guess.
Mhm. All right. Let's switch things over. Hard transition from NBA talk to Valorant.
Oh God.
This is
All
going to
right.
be a very
Juicy
open.
stuff. This is
Oh
my
yeah,
thing.
yeah. This is going to be very open ended, and I kind of want you guys to do a lot more talking than me. I am
Okay.
like the perennial NBA fan of among us right now, so it makes sense. Um, there is no like specific topic I wanted to talk about. I just kind of wanted to talk about Valorant in general and like pretty much anything that comes to mind. If you want to talk about the competitive scene, talk about the competitive scene. If you want to talk about the gameplay itself, talk about that. Just what's something that like is on your mind about the game that you really want to voice and talk out.
Okay.
Let's shoot up Skak first. Fun.
Okay. All right.
Well, I my issue with Valorant has nothing to do with the game. It's all myself because I've never played a shooter like it. I didn't get into Counter Strike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more into the Siege and stuff type gameplay, which is completely different. And but I've been definitely enjoying Valorant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it is just definitely very frustrating to feel like I'm not contributing when I'm playing.
Like, what's something that you would want to talk about Valorant? If we got to
Here,
come
I can
back
give
to you,
you
we
some
can.
ideas. How do you
Yeah, give me a
feel?
minute.
I can give you some ideas. How do you feel about like the current like state of the game and like how it plays?
How the like the gameplay is fine.
Yeah,
I
like do
mean,
you think it's like
as for
complicated? Do you think it's like simple but also complex at the same time?
I
Like how do you
think the
feel about
game
it?
at a base level is perfect, right? I
Ooh.
Okay.
think once you're getting into the nitty gritty,
Yeah.
that's when people start getting their issues. I was talking to my friend yesterday, when I went to the mall, and he said he was so he long time ago quit Counter Strike because the game was just
It's stale.
mentally
It gets
draining
stale
him.
too. Yeah.
He was getting frustrated of like doing well and losing games, and he was a complete solo player, solo queue, ranked only.
Mhm.
He didn't do ESA or any of that stuff. He got into Valorant, and he quit Valorant after they buffed Breach, because Breach was just very not fun to play against for him, and he didn't like uh, what's it called? The new agents that they were releasing. I think he quit after Sky was released.
Okay.
Okay.
And I was talking to him recently, and I told him about the two new heroes being earned since then. I think, right? two new heroes have been released, Yoru and
Yoru, Astra.
Astra, and
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
said that he probably will never come back to the game after just hearing what they do. Even though I
Hmm.
told him Yoru's debatably one of the worst in the game, and yeah. Anyway, I'm bringing this up because I think that after a while, certain players will get frustrated with certain things. Like, I don't particularly like Killjoy, but it doesn't like ruin the game for me, and it's something that's I'm just I don't know enough about the game, so it's definitely I think a bias kind of thing, or not a bias, but like I just don't know enough about the game to have like a true opinion on that kind of thing.
To interject real quickly, what don't you like about Killjoy?
For me, it's the fucking stupid traps.
Tamales.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like, what
but
about them?
that's I feel like they do damage way too quickly, and I'm very fucking slow and stupid, so I can't react to them. Which is why I said that I can't really blame that on the game, right?
Yeah.
So I
I'll
don't have an
give
issue
you
at the base level, right?
I'll give
So
you
even though
my
I haven't,
thoughts on Killjoy as well. Now we're talking about it. Um, I don't think she's better than Cypher in any way. I think she does help players with worse aim get kills because you have to deal with her turret and shit like that. But in general, I think you still have to aim really well with her. I don't think her abilities do enough to compensate for really bad aim or bad peaks.
I think that just brings up the whole like my philosophy on the game, and it's that like
Right.
it doesn't
Which
matter
we
who
could
you play. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It doesn't matter what agent you play. At the core of this game,
to
and
take
Riot said
fights.
this, dude. Yeah, Riot said this. Like when the game was coming out and it was in beta, even before beta, and it was called like Project A, I think.
Mhm.
They wanted to make an FPS game where your aim is what mattered the most. And I think that people are like caught up in this weird.
It's mostly the CS community
Mm-hmm.
that they're complaining. But yeah, the game was made to take fights at every single level, whether it's you're anchoring a site or you're defaulting and like trying to take control of the middle of the map. You got to take fights.
Exactly. And I feel like people are so caught up in these like abilities and like Sova has a wall hack and like, like it's so annoying playing because you have a like a brimstone alt and then he mollies
Right.
or the Viper uses like all that other stuff and it's just like I want to play the game, I want to fight. And it's like they forget that like to get to that 2v2 retake scenario where the brimstone is allowed to use his molly and his alt, you still have to fight, you know?
Now, I will say this: there are different characters or agents, you would call them, that are built better to take fights, right? The duelists, right? It is easier to take fights with them because of their util, right? Like Jet, for example, you can take a shot and dash away and
True.
not have any penalty. The flash characters like Phoenix and Reyna, you can feel confident taking a fight because you can just overheal, right?
True.
So I think there's characters built for taking fights, right? But I think regardless, you still have to take fights. Like you can't just anchor a site and then just fully give it up and play retake because I think retake is hard against good players in this game, like harder than it would be in Counter Strike.
Oh, true.
and that's the hardest thing for me to learn because I naturally from Siege have always been hold my position type of guy,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and even when attacking, I'm definitely slow and methodical more than just I got to take the fight. You know what
Yeah.
So it's
I mean?
definitely I can understand your concerns. I don't know. I think Killjoy is like one of the weaker agents, if I'm being real.
Yeah, I
That's what
mean,
I think too.
I definitely think she's worse than Cypher, personally.
Because Cypher
It's
can
just
cover the flank so easily on attack. Like that's my
it's just
main thing with him
like a
too.
noob frustration kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But my main concern with the game is the maps.
Okay. Glenn, you had something that immediately came to mind. What was it?
It was that we talked about the whole thing where you have to fight people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize that. And it's just one of those things. And like also to change the topic a little bit, the competitive way that this game is played, like on a team basis versus a pug, is like complete opposites. I
True.
mean, you still have to take fights, but like for example, I think meta and pug is like running like 3 duelists, right? And like a smoke character and maybe a sentinel, but like in a competitive aspect, you could run like Sage, Viper, Sky, Jet, and like some other random character or agent, and it would work fine. It's just all coordination on that level and who has better aim.
I
There's no
think.
like complex like thing about it, the smokes are easy to throw on your smoke character, the flashes are easy to use. Like it's not complex in that way. It's more about team coordination and like how you use the strengths of the agents that you're playing with your 5 stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus like where CS is like, to have a solid team, you got to have like 3 riflers that can interchange between each role
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to be put in different situations all the time.
True. I don't know. I think the fact that there's agents in Valorant makes it slightly different. I think if you're talking about like a pug in Counter Strike, for example, like let's say you're hopping on Face It and playing a little bit of Face It,
Yeah,
um, there are no agents, so everybody
right,
has the same abilities, the same utility, all that fun stuff. But you
right,
still see people in pugs like generally like not even buying nades sometimes. They just buy a couple
right.
flashes and then they go hold W and try and get into fights. And I think
Yeah,
that's why in pugs you see a lot of like duelist character selection is because it's easy. You don't really have to think about it. You pick
yeah,
jet, you hold your button and you dash, and then you fight people, or you throw your smokes, or
yeah.
And
So,
most people want to be the guy that's popping off. No one wants to
yeah,
be like
that's
in
NA
the
for you
back.
though.
yeah.
Yeah,
Also, I will say this though, even though the team-based play in this game, like, if you're signed to a team, um, is different. Like it's a little more complex. It's still way less complex than team play in Counter Strike. Like you still have to take the same fights and shit if you're on a team versus a pug, right?
Hmm.
I think Counter Strike's way more complex at that level, where you're coordinating shit,
Well, it's just
right?
like that. The reason for that is because okay, just random comp. I saw a Viper, a Brimstone, an Omen, a Sage, and a Jet comp, right, in a game.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular comp, right, the Jet doesn't have to worry about using smokes or flashes. That's not her job. Her job
Yeah.
is to kill people. She was sniping, so her job is to op, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
you had the Brimstone and the Omen. They're the smokers. That's their job. Their job is to smoke, right? And then you had the Viper and the Sage. The Sage is kind of just like in the middle of the pack. She's there for her res. She's there to throw up a wall and make it difficult, but like she doesn't really have a lot of responsibilities besides just running in and getting a kill. And then the Viper obviously was their clutcher, with her ult being as powerful as it was, her utility. Her and the Brimstone both have abilities to like hide somewhere and then toss mollies onto the bomb so you can't defuse it. And
Right.
so everything is split up. Like if you're the Viper, you know exactly what your job is. If you're the Jet,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera. But in Counter Strike, it's like, I mean, you've
Your
played on
job.
teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to buy smoke, flash, flash, molly, or smoke, flash, nade, molly. Everybody has utility, right? You're
Yeah.
going into an execute. You're off of a default, maybe. You take the site. Uh, if you're the closest person to the site, you're the entry. That's your
Mm-hmm.
responsibility, which means that 3 people behind you, that dude
Have
needs
to
to
fill your
know.
spot. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to know. Okay, well we're hitting B on Mirage, and my team wants a kitchen smoke, or they
Mm-hmm.
want a specific cat smoke. I need to know that smoke, and I need to be able to throw it quickly so that the timing isn't fucked up, and I can still make it onto the site with the rest of my team. And so you have so much more that you have to be responsible for. But in Valorant, you really only have your thing, and that's what you're responsible for. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like
I think
that's
that's
why it's
a.
different.
That's what I was
I
trying
think
to
that's
say
a.
is like at any moment, like, yeah, you could be the best support player in the team, but you might have to be entry
Mm-hmm.
the next round. Like it's interchangeable. And that's why the best teams have interchangeable players like that, like
True.
in Counter Strike. And the only reason I want to make this clear, the only reason that we're comparing the 2 games is because Valorant is most like Counter Strike. I don't care what anyone says. Like that's just the truth.
Dude, someone, okay, real off topic and it's going to last 2 seconds, but somebody said that it was Overwatch 2.0. And I
Nope,
was like,
not even
what?
close.
What? In what universe is it Overwatch 2? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Overwatch doesn't even have bomb defusal.
I know. Well, like
Um.
not even like the game mode type. I'm talking about like in Overwatch, it's very much like build up your ult and your buddy's ult because when you guys use your ult together, you kill the entire team.
Yeah.
But in Valorant, like there's only like two ults that kill people.
In general, I mean, people might compare it because of abilities being similar, like Sage and Mei, or Astra's ult and Symmetra's ult, stuff like that. But like in general, it's only barely like Overwatch.
I know it was weird. I didn't get the take at all.
Gameplay is totally different. I can say like similarities between agents, like Skak said, like the similarity between agents' abilities and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the games play totally different.
Totally different. It was such a weird take,
um,
dude.
yeah. Um, Another thing I want to bring up is I want to briefly touch on the competitive scene right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's typical. It's starting to turn into typical NA where people are getting cut. They're picking up new people without giving, that team a fair like shot. You know what I'm saying? Like month, they pick up someone for a month. Oh, he's bottom fragging, so he's cut.
Real quick, specify here, Glenn. Are you talking about tier one, like the 100 Thieves of the world, or are you talking about tier
Yes.
three?
I mean, actually, really every tier,
Okay.
I would say, because I've seen more people get caught in the tier one scene than like I really have in like the lower tiers, to be honest.
Okay.
That's due to maybe underlying things like Shanks was on energy for about like a month or a month and a half. He did get banned on Twitch. I'm not sure what that was for, but um that could be the reason, but it also could be because he was just like not filling his role properly, or they felt like he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, or I don't know. Regardless, I think right now the way the game's played, you're gonna see a lot of like teams just like in and out of the top. Like for example, like Sentinels just got demolished in the last qualifier, um, by a team who didn't really have a ton of practice, and like the reason being is because yes, the game's aim heavy. We've established that, right? They got out aimed. But I think another reason is they just knew what Sentinels was gonna do because Sentinels have been constantly playing on streams for like months now, right? Because they've been winning.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring in a team that has no record of VODs or anything or like any strategies, and then they just come in and like know exactly what Sentinels is gonna do, but Sentinels has no idea what they're gonna do. And when you have equal aim, against a team like that, then I would give the team with no VODs, like, and not a lot of play experience, the advantage
Well, I mean,
because of the fact the game's aim heavy, right?
mm-hmm.
But if you were to switch over to Counter Strike, for example, and put those two teams like, and we were saying like they're playing Counter Strike, right? And they're equal aim, I still think the team that's been winning wins. You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying at all?
I'll bring up a Counter Strike example for you. Do you remember
Yeah.
Cloud9 in 2015
Yeah.
with Sean Garris?
Yes.
They did exactly what you just said. They came in, and Sean Garris is phenomenal behind the scenes when it comes to watching demos and being able to analyze
Mm-hmm.
things. And he just counter stratted every big team.
Yeah.
It was to the point where if you ever heard like nothing talk about it, Sean knew exactly what like Fnatic players were doing, like off of tiny things, like a very
Right.
specific smoke coming from a very specific direction, and he could tell you what all five players on Fnatic were doing, and it
Right.
allowed them to win. And so like anti-stranding is like a like really good. It's a really good strategy,
Yeah.
but it only works so far. And the reason that Cloud9 didn't win like 5 tournaments in 2015 is because they would do that and they would allow them to get far in tournaments. Like they had that summer run where they were making it real deep
Mm-hmm.
in tournaments, but then they would run up against a team with a good IGL. And all of a
Yep.
sudden, it didn't matter that they were being anti-stratted because the IGL on the other team would realize that they're being anti-stratted and would just start calling things.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest problem with North America, and we could talk about plenty of scenes, not just Valorant or Counter Strike.
Lack of IGLs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, like IGLs to the point where they can carry their team to a victory just by fucking calling things,
yup.
right? Because at NA, it's all about, oh, who's gonna frag the most, regardless of who's IGLing.
Like I'd compare tens to somebody like a Nico in Counter Strike. He's
Right.
phenomenally talented. Like when it just comes to moving his mouse onto people's heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the dude isn't there entirely when it comes to like the cerebral aspect of gameplay. When it comes like team gameplay,
Right.
and he needs somebody. And so like, has Nico done well since Kerrigan has no longer been his IGL? No. You know what I
No.
mean? Like they've had a couple of like tournament wins like throughout the years, and that was when FaZe just popped off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which could happen.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes your aim is just on point, and your teammates' aim is just on point, and you guys stomp everybody. But generally speaking, no consistent like results.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because Kerrigan is a phenomenal IGL, and he knows how to utilize people, and so he can utilize Nico's aim so that all Nico has to worry about is aiming at people and killing them and doing what he's told. And you don't get that when you have to do both. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if you took a good IGL and you put them on Sentinel's team and replaced whoever their IGL is right now, I think that team would probably just win every tournament because of
Right.
how good the players on that team are.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
think.
that's what's keeping them from being consistent.
Well, I think yeah. I mean, I was just more speaking on NA because that's where we're from.
Well, I think
I
it's an NA
think.
problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I was talking about that, like, I just don't think there's going to be a consistent, at least in North America, there's not going to be a consistent like top dog. I don't think in this game ever, and that's just an NA problem. Now, if we moved over to EU, which I don't know much about EU teams, I haven't really watched a bunch, but like, I think you're gonna see like EU in this game. Like, there's gonna be like three teams always at the top for like extended periods of time. You know, um,
Dude, I see a world when like lands open back up, please
EU's
soon.
gonna. I think EU and like Korea are gonna like beat out NA region
Oh, dude,
100%.
can you imagine like a tens is opping on Jet, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
the EU team just comes in with like strats to just deal with that, and tens goes
Yeah.
like 5 and 20.
Yep.
Like I can see that happening. Or like a
Yeah.
hundred thieves. I could see 100 thieves just being fully dissected.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see 100 thieves as a more like team based team.
They are.
Like they work a lot more on like communication and like teamwork. And I could see them just being fully dismantled by like an EU team running like the Viper Omen
Mm-hmm.
breach combo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hard.
I agree.
I don't see them. I see them getting frustrated and tilted because they don't know what they're supposed to do because they don't have somebody
Right.
like leading them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even in Siege, it's never been the best team with the best aimers. It's definitely been best strategy wins.
At that level, I don't know. I mean, at that level, I would say like in at least Valorant, I would say like the aim is close enough, but like I still think the team with in NA at least with better aim is gonna win. Like doesn't matter, or whoever's on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's gonna be some days where like 100 Thieves, like Asuna is like just going crazy, and carrying them every game. And there's gonna be some days where he's just not playing well, and I think that's when they lose. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of rely on him a lot to like do things for them, and um, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens. Like I heard something the other day that Riot is not gonna add agent bans for another like year and a half or 2 years. They said because they want like 30 something or 40 something agents in the pool before they start doing that, which I don't know if I agree with that or not, but
I mean, I
um
don't even see the point in having agent bans in the first place, if I'm being honest.
it's just to make people like I mean,
When you get to the point where you have so many
yeah.
agents, yes,
It,
because
it's to
Siege
yeah.
got to the point where they couldn't fucking bounce shit. They needed to have bans.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
here's
to make it so you force people onto comps that like they have to be practiced on. Like the teams with like several comps for different maps. Like
In a
I
per
think that's the idea behind it, but
in a perfect world, I don't think bans should be a thing, but
here's why
right.
I don't think they're a
it's
thing.
not a
All
perfect
right,
world.
tell me what you guys think. At least so far, it seems like Riot's agent creation, like whoever's behind it, what they're doing is they're just remaking people. So like Yoru's
Yeah,
relatively new, right? We'll talk about him for a
but
second.
it's, yeah,
He's got flashes. He's like Phoenix, you know?
he's got to teleport.
He's got a teleport, but it's not, and it's kind of like Phoenix. It's pretty much just Phoenix's ability, but
Mm.
not an ultimate, you know? And
And
it
then
doesn't heal him.
it's like Phoenix's, but you basically like it's like a second life, but you can't do anything in it.
Yeah. So it's just another version of Phoenix, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's the same with Astra. She's just another smoker. She doesn't have anything
yeah.
that's wild. She's what happens if you take Viper and Omen and make them have a baby. She has the
Mm-hmm.
wall, you know? The gimmick about her is you can't shoot through her wall, you know?
Right.
But she has smokes.
And then they added like the invuln sucky thing,
Yeah.
like, but that's about it. Yeah, and
And
it can cost. It's like 4 agents combined, really. If
yeah,
I'm being honest with you.
but it's like it's nothing crazy. It's just agents you
No.
already have. Like you could get the
Right.
same effects that Astra brings to the table with an Omen,
Right.
just in a different way. And so the reason I don't think that picks even matter is because let's say you have a particular comp you run on Ascent, right? I guarantee
Mm.
you, if they ban Jet, for example, then that Jet can just play a different character.
Right.
And it's the exact same comp pretty much. Like maybe she just plays Raze instead. The only agent so far I think that's actually unique is Reyna.
Yeah.
You know, and we're probably gonna get another Reyna at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, what's the point in bans if they don't really matter? Like, oh no, you guys banned Omen because I'm the best Omen player in the world. I'll just play Brimstone, you
Right.
know, or I'll play Astra. And it's the same with like
Yeah.
Cypher and Killjoy. Oh no, you banned Cypher. I'll play Killjoy,
Right.
and I'll do the exact same thing I was gonna do on Cypher, but with Killjoy.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think every team, if they do add bans, I think every team's first ban is gonna be like Sova, dude.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't see a world where it's not like Sova or Jet, one of the two.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Jet.
um. Yeah, I mean, I think the game overall is good, and it was. I mean, I think it's great. To be honest, I love it.
hmm
I get tilted sometimes when I play. I mean, I mean, I know I hit Radiant top 500 last Axe, and like it was still rough, like playing, just ranked and pugged, even being at that level. But all in all, I think the game's solid. I really think like when it comes down to it, just like League of Legends was made to be like simple. It's like the League of Legends to Dota, like, you know, thing where they made it to be like the simple version of Counter Strike, I guess you could say.
Which is
Like
perfect
it's like the
for them.
Valorant, you know, yeah. It's basically like I don't know. I think it's complex, but it's like simple at the same time. Like League is more simple than Dota, but it's not like a
And
simple
they're still
game, if that
separate
makes sense.
games. They're still
Yeah,
separate games, which is
yeah,
why it's still a
yeah,
popular thing. Both games are
yep,
successful.
hmm
yep.
I mean, I agree with a lot of what you guys were saying.
Um, Now if we want to talk about maps here,
Oh no.
the maps are garbage. They need to do something about the maps. There's just if you
I
want me to be real with you, I think Icebox and Ascent are the two best maps in the game.
I hate Icebox.
For me, I just feel like 5 maps is definitely not enough, and especially when you get that same map like twice in a row,
Yeah,
3 times in a
well,
row.
I think the reason they released I mean, the only reason they released the game without having more than 3 maps is because of the fact they knew they were going to make a shit ton of money off of it. And I don't, you know, that's just my opinion. But they knew people were going to buy skins because the skins looked nice and like buy the agents and, you know, that type of stuff. So I feel like that's why they released it early because I don't think it was planned to come out until like later in the year. But then
Exactly.
they're
I
like,
mean,
now we had a great closed beta. We're just gonna like release it in the next month, you
they
know?
make so much money off those
Because they
skins,
probably
so they could
even in the
definitely.
closed beta, dude, they probably made so much money off the skins, bro. Even though, and that's because they had that deal going on where you could like you buy the points and then you
Mhm.
get like 25% extra when the game comes out, and
hmm
you get it all
Exactly.
refunded.
Yeah,
They
I
make
ended
so
up
much
doing
money
that.
off that. But yeah, I think the game needed a little more time in like beta or a delay in release, to be honest with you. But I think the game's still solid right now. I just think from a competitive standpoint, it needs more. you
I
know.
I think they need to
And I
open
don't
up maps
and I think
for.
I think they need to open up, like I was about to say, they need to open up maps for community creation,
Yep,
I think.
exactly. That's how you'll
Because
get the
people
best
will do
maps.
that.
You'll get the best
Yep.
maps that way, dude. Honestly.
Yep.
Like
I,
my favorite map is Split, but there's so many issues with Split. That's just like not things that just are not necessary in the map.
But Riot being Riot, I don't know if they'll ever do that. Just like
No.
the same thing with like I don't think they'll. I mean, they are having third-party hosts for tournaments, like they said they would. But I don't think they'll ever be like, oh yeah, we're gonna move, like we're gonna allow Face It to like, you know, do like certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like and
Yeah.
have that whole anti-cheat, their own anti-cheat, and
I
let
don't
them host like a pugging service almost. Like I don't know.
I don't care about like third party like pugging services. I just want them to open up content like creative content. So like people who like to make maps can make maps for Valorant, and
Yeah,
the best one gets pulled into the pool. You know what I mean?
that's what I would like to see. Yes,
You'll get the
I
best
would love to
maps.
see that.
You really will.
I think they can integrate a good rank. I mean, I think the rank system has its flaws, but I think it's trending in the right direction. They've been working pretty hard on it.
Hmm.
Um, I like the idea of everyone having a different MMR, you know, so it makes you have to play like consistently to keep what, you know, your rank and not lose more points, I guess.
Hmm.
I think it's trending in the right direction. It could use a little more work or maybe a reset,
Hmm.
but I think it's fine. I would like to see them introduce like leagues into like the game itself, like on the client,
That'd
like
be cool.
kind of like an ESEA thing where there's different divisions and you make your team and you
Hmm.
just play through the game instead of having to do third party stuff.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
That
I
might
would
come in
like
the
to see
future.
that.
Every
That might
game
come,
I've played
but
that's incorporated like Face It or ESEA has not done well, though.
yeah, I mean, I would say
It's really only been successful for like Counter Strike.
I think, but I'm just saying, I think Riot has the tools and experience to just integrate that into their game, having like competitive leagues, you know, instead of having to do it third party.
Mm.
I think the biggest problem with Valorant's competitive scene right now is it's difficult to get into
Yeah,
because like with Counter Strike,
there's also really no established scene right now, if I'm
that's
being
true.
honest with you, because you look at it like on any given day, I can see like a tier, like I don't even know what tier 2 is right now, to be honest, but like there's some like definite tier 1 teams, right, that we know about. But I think there's a lot of like teams, you know, that could beat those tier 1 teams that you don't even really hear about.
Hmm.
I don't really think there's an established scene. I think there's just established teams that are paid, you know,
I
not
just
solely based off the fact that like there's probably better players out there than like any of those guys on those teams, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, it takes a little while for like the skill
Yeah,
ceiling to reach the tier one. You know, I
right.
just what I mean is like you have Counter Strike. You want to be a pro Counter Strike gamer. You go sign up for ESEA. You make a team. You play an open. You do well in open. Your team makes it
Yeah,
to intermediate, so on and so forth. You climb the ladder. There's not really a way to do that in Valorant, and I think that Riot needs to jump on that early and just
yeah.
integrate it into the game.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think league play would be spectacular for that and would
Hmm.
really establish like tiers, so to speak, you
Yep.
know? And then another thing is like the other route to uh pro in Counter-Strike is making FPL or like rank S or whatever, right? Through just pugging your life away. Um I think in this game people are just knocking the rank system so bad. I think it's hard to do that in
Ooh,
Valorant. Like
what they need to do, Glenn, is they need an FPL. They
they
need
do.
a like
Technically
Radiant
they say
only.
that's yeah, technically they say that's Radiant, but I think they need to change it so if you're in Radiant, you only play Radiance,
Well,
right?
like the biggest problem is that nobody's playing those games. Like the top Radiant
Yeah.
guys, their queues are so long, dude.
Yeah. I think you need maybe expand Radiant to top 1,000 instead
And
of 500.
do like picks. Like you could literally
Yeah.
do FPL. Like you make it to Radiant, and then you get this special like pug screen that you get to go to, and then it's just like FPL or Rank S. Like you have to pick teams, you know, uh,
Right.
bans. So like I don't want to play on Split, and then the other guy goes, well, okay, we're not playing on Ascent, and you get
Right.
a map from that, and then there's a reward. It doesn't even have to be money. you get this really cool skin that only the top 10 people in this leaderboard get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That, or I think I could see them doing like a maybe, I mean, you keep the current pug system, right? But then just take like Radiant out of it and just have a mortal leaderboard, and then make like Radiant invite only and do it that way. I guess you could do it that way
Yeah,
too.
and like the top I don't know, the top 10 immortals get invited to the
If
Radiant
you,
queue.
yeah, yeah, and if you don't play enough, you get kicked out,
Yeah.
basically. Like if you don't play like at least once every like 3 or 4 days, you get kicked out.
Hmm. And then you'd have people like Days just grind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That would be a good system. I like that thought.
I have a quick question pertaining
Yeah.
to the whole map thing. Um, so they're releasing the 6th map soon.
Hmm.
Yes.
And I would have to assume that it's not going to be tournament legal immediately. Because of, you know, the agents aren't. But in a best of 5 series, depending on how that map is balanced, what map do you guys think they take out?
Mm.
Do you think they introduce map bans when there's only 6 maps out of 5, when there's only 5 necessary, or do you think they
They
just
already have map
So
cut a
bans.
map? Wait, they
so
do?
when they have
But I thought in the best of 5 they just played on each map once.
they
So
do.
what they've done is also like team A picks one map, team B picks one map, then
Mhm.
team A bans a map, and then team B bans a map, and then that's where you go from there, and you end up playing a map again.
Yeah, you can play it twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Uh,
I mean, they also do it the way that you said. But
Mhm.
so if they introduce the 6 map, but they're just going to do the bans, and so
Yeah,
like
okay, that
team A
makes sense.
bans a map, team B bans a map, then team A picks a map, then team B picks a map. That's 4 maps right there. You have 2 maps
Yeah.
left, right?
Yeah, and you just pick through the thing again.
So you and if you're doing a best of 5, right? Uh, then you would just get those 2 maps, like you see what I'm saying, and then you would replay a map, which is probably what they'll
right,
do. But the need
Yeah.
is they need 7 maps. Like that just needs to happen.
they're working on it apparently. I've heard.
I mean, maps is I would rather have 2 more shitty maps than just a map 5 shitty maps, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Just get them out faster.
All right.
Um.
Glenn is potentially going to be working on some like tutorials or helpful videos in the future. So he's going to be your guy to go to if you need some help, right? So what I was thinking we could do is Skak's new to this kind of game. So Skak could maybe come in and have a little conversation with Glenn, things that are like tripping him up, things that he's not sure about, he's struggling with in the game, and we can get like a little preview into how Glenn can help other people get better at the game. How do you guys feel about maybe doing that right now?
I'm open to it. Yeah.
That's fine.
So,
Hit me with it.
yep, Skat, go for it.
I mean, so my issue is definitely consistency. I've never been an aimer. In Siege, I always use my knowledge of the game and gimmicks and shit to get the advantage, right?
Mm.
And I've been aim training, not as consistently lately, but fairly. But the thing is, my problem is turning my DM performance and aim training into the game. It's like getting consistent into the actual gameplay itself.
Okay. Um. My first question for you is, how do you feel about your pre-aiming? Do you
Pre-aiming definitely, I think, is one of my weakest spots.
okay?
I know
Because
the general places people play now after playing the game, but knowing like precise pre-aims is definitely my issue because I'm not a like flick god. You know what I mean?
right, I'm not either, but I made it to where I am, right? Um.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think that comes with knowledge of the game, like you said, for one. Second, I think that takes like, I mean, dude, like I have how many hours in Counter Strike? Like almost 5K, and for that just naturally transferred over, right? When I switch games,
Exactly.
um, I think what you need to do is, I mean, even if you just do this by yourself, um, you could even go into a
Yeah, like a
custom,
custom
turn on
game and
cheats,
turn on
and
map
just
pre-aim.
yeah, just like act like you're hitting B, right?
Hmm.
Or act like you're hitting A on a set, and just like pre-aim all the angles that you think someone be playing, right? When you
Yeah.
go out. Okay, and then I think that would help you. I wish there was workshop maps because that's how what helped me in CS. Um,
Hmm.
they had like actual workshop pre-aim maps,
Yeah.
but I think doing that, getting your strafe timing down, like from tiles to CAD on Ascent, where you just like you swing tiles with the strafe and then you counter strafe right, and then hit the shot based off where you think someone's playing. Usually they'll play that like corner of the doorway on cat, right, or on the right side. They usually don't play in the middle. Um, just doing that sort of stuff and like make sure you're hitting that shot with the timing on the counter strafe right, and you'll know because like if you don't counter strafe right, your bullet's gonna like go stray, like somewhere in the wall, a random
Hmm.
spot in mid. But like just getting that consistency down, because regardless, like what we talked about earlier, I think you gotta like to get to that level in this game, you gotta have the aim. Regardless, like some of the, I mean, there are some real dumb players I play with sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you, like there are, but they can aim, and their aim gets them out of situations that, like, for example, someone that has is lacking aim couldn't do, right? So like for example, like you have like a cipher, he places the dumbest trips, like people can jump over him, his cam's useless, but like they push his sight and he gets like 3 kills just because like he can aim at people, if that makes
Hmm.
sense, you
Exactly.
know, and they don't even hit his trips. Or um another thing is like you could just walk down mid with Reyna and kill 2 people and then invuln away. You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of stuff will get you to the higher level. You just got to be able to out aim until you hit like Diamond 3 Immortal level. You really just got to be able to out aim the other team, in my opinion. When you hit Immortal, you still need to out aim the other team, but it gets more like util heavy, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
It's more stratting, not necessarily stratting, but like the smokes are like necessary because you have an opper posted up somewhere that's probably gonna hit the shot 9 times out of 10.
Hmm.
So that's my take on that. Honestly, like I said, just go into like a custom and practice pre-aiming the angles. You could do it in DM too, where you just clear every corner, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's
And
definitely an
makes
issue. Of just
and keep
I
it. And
also
I
just need to
notice,
play the
and
game
I
more.
do, since I have played with you, I do notice sometimes that you aim a little low.
Hmm.
So you just gotta try to focus on keeping your crosshair at like the head level at all
I think
times. No,
just naturally I just aim low, and it's very weird because
yeah, I mean I had that problem too, but I think just running around a map, aiming head
Mhm.
level, and knowing where that head level is will also help you, because it's not that your aim's terrible; it's that like you're not aiming at the right spot, if that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah.
And like if you get headshot, you're just out aimed, right? Like you're just
Mhm.
done. And so
Yeah,
you need to headshot them first.
100%.
So yeah, that's my take on the aim thing. Is there anything else?
The only other thing would be like definitely like just game knowledge in general,
Okay.
which is
That's
just
just
playing the game
learn.
more.
You just learn that from YouTube videos and playing.
Yeah.
Like
And
obviously in the future, I'm gonna be making videos on certain things like that. But like knowing when to walk, push a flank is a big thing. Um, Especially when playing ranks, because if you time that right, you can literally kill like 3 of them,
yeah,
and they just can't trade it. But that really just comes from playing and like understanding what people are gonna do, right? Because like obviously everyone plays their agents differently, if that makes sense. Like you might have an aggressive omen one game, but then the next game you might have a passive ass omen,
right.
Um, but knowing what people are gonna do and expecting like an omen to smoke the middle of a site and teleport into it or fake teleport into it, like just learning how to play off of that type of stuff. And that
It's
just comes with
definitely
time and like playing against people that are doing those things.
I try to take in everything while I'm playing the game, but in fucking these lobbies is sometimes just
Oh,
some
I
crazy shit
understand. And
that's going
you're
down.
like in the elo where it's like Smurfs, cheaters, and regular players in gold all at once. So it sucks. That's just the
Yeah.
state of the game right now. Honestly, in my opinion, I think they need to get rid of the whole rank thing where you can't queue with people lower rank, and then just if you get caught smurfing, you get, banned. I think that would help the game, to be honest, but they're not going to do that because people are gonna spend money on Smurfs, like buying skins when they have a main account that already has skins, because they're
Yeah,
playing
they
their
want the more.
Smurf more because they want to drop 35 kills and have fun and not have to sweat in an immortal lobby.
And some
And
people Smurf just to be able to play with their friends because of that rule. So
yeah,
it just creates a big
yeah,
problem.
that's what unrated was intended to be for, but no one wants to play unrated because it's just unrated, like
Mhm.
people take that as a joke, basically. So yeah, I mean that's all I really have for you on that.
That's all I really had to say anyway.
Okay.
It was a productive conversation, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
What else do you have for us?
No other real topics. I did want to talk about potentially maybe any games you guys are looking forward to, but we just hit the 1 hour and 1.5 hour mark, and so we're getting towards kind of a long one. And I know Skak has to work today, so maybe
Okay.
we just call it here. What do you guys feel?
I'm I'm good for whatever, dude. I'm down to sit here for a couple minutes and talk about games
All right,
if
I'm
you
down
want.
too. Mostly just because I've been seeing a lot of like PS5 exclusives that I'm really excited for.
Right.
And the question I have for you guys, because this is legitimately like I'm not entirely sure yet, but the question I have is, do you guys think I should buy a PS5 as soon as I can find it, or do you think I should wait and play the games that are coming out like through Xboxes, like Microsoft Play Anywhere and things like that first, and wait for the PS5 to go down in price? Because there's so many cool exclusives coming for the PS5, dude.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're gonna get a good experience out of playing the exclusives if you can find a PS5, especially since you're into that type of genre.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of those exclusives are like single player RPGs or whatever, right? I'd
Mm-hmm.
assume.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you go wrong with either, to be honest, but I know like this year, like Halo's coming to PC, which I'm excited for. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
to play that. What else is there?
There's the new Fable game that you might not have heard
Yeah,
about, but
yeah. I'm trying to think of other games. We're
it's
getting a
a.
new Call of Duty, obviously, but
I'm
um,
not buying that.
so my only thing with that is like I enjoy playing Call of Duty solely because it's like chill and I can sit back and be good without having to try.
All right,
But
question: have you been playing Cold War or have you been playing Warzone?
both.
Because fuck Cold War,
I don't know. Cold War. I mean, I've been having fun on Cold War. It's not the
boys.
greatest game.
Sorry, you just reminded me. We're getting a new Battlefield.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Like, come on now.
Okay, Battlefield. Yeah, that should be
The
fun.
the
There always
leaks,
are.
the
I'm
leaks,
definitely gonna
dude.
play it. Sorry, by the
Oh,
way, I had to step
Yeah.
away for a sec.
you're good. The leaks, man. The leaks are that it's like Battlefield 3, but in modern gaming. And I
Okay.
loved Battlefield 3's gameplay. So you're gonna have like
Yeah.
a whole bunch of rifles, like
That was the best one in my opinion.
yes, dude, it's gonna be so much fun. Like, I'm excited. So I'm gonna play
Yeah.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for the new Resident Evil.
Oh, true, true. Is do you know if they're going back to like OG Resident Evil, or is it gonna be
Nah,
like seven?
it's gonna be like Resident Evil 7.
I enjoyed seven, so but that's like another single player game, and Glenn's not as super into the.
I'm not. For some reason, I'm just not. Like I've played like Skyrim. Like I played Skyrim. What else? I'm trying to think of what. I mean, I've played single player games. Like I like going through like. I guess call it's not really a single player game, but I enjoy the Call of Duty campaigns. Like I always play through those.
You'd probably
Um,
like an on rails single player game, like The Last of Us, the
yeah,
Uncharted series, God of War, things like that.
yeah. Oh, that God of War is supposed to be really good. Apparently, the one that's coming out for PS5, I've heard.
If it's as good as the as God of War 4, then yeah, because God of War 4 was insanely good.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to kill a bunch of Norse gods? Like I'm down, bro. Ghosts of Tsushima was apparently really, really good. John has been talking to me about that for a long time, and I want to play it, but like I don't want to go buy a PlayStation 4, so I might as well just buy a PlayStation 5 and play it on that.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
there's no reason to buy a PS4 now. I mean, I thought you had one, but
Yeah, but we gave it to my sister, so she had something to
oh,
play.
okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd just be worth it to buy the PS5 then if you really want to get into those types of games.
I
I
just
mean,
can't find them, dude.
I don't see a world where it's not worth it.
I can't find them. I've checked like
Well, you
eight
just wait till you can
stores.
find one.
Yeah, 8 stores around me. I went to like 2 different Best Buys, Walmart, Meijer, Target. They're all out of stock. And I'm not going to spend $2,000 on a PS5 on eBay. Like, got me fucked up.
Right.
Any games you guys are looking forward to, Skak?
Um, Me personally, like, I don't have a lot in mind. I'm excited for Halo. Honestly, that's like the one game I've been looking forward to. And now that you mention it, Battlefield as well.
I could see us having a lot of fun in Battlefield.
Those are my two. I just like FPSs. Like that's just my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just always has been. So
All right. Well, then we'll definitely have to keep an eye on those. Definitely going to play them when they come out.
yep.
All right. Well, I think this is where we can end it then. I think we've had a nice
Okay.
long discussion.
Yeah. Me
And
too.
we'll be here next week, uploaded again on Wednesday as well. I think that's our day, right?
Sunday, right?
Wait, are we uploading it on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my fault. Cut that out.
Mhm.
Sunday, this will be uploaded, and then the Sunday after that, we'll have the next episode. We record them at some point throughout the week. Lensky and I will always be here, and we're gonna try and get like more like other guests. So sometimes it'll be Skak because he's a close friend of ours. We have other people who are a little interested in coming on and talking, and we're just gonna kind of have a conversation about whatever we want to have a conversation about. So.
Yeah, it won't be my boring ass every time.
Oh,
So
don't do yourself like that, dude.
and
We had some
definitely
good talks today about a lot
exactly
of things. So
definitely look forward to Glenn being the one with the topics next week. So who knows what that man's going to bring to the conversation. We'll see how that goes.
yeah.
But thank you for tuning in, and if you watch it on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You can give us topics to talk about. We're definitely down to talk about just about anything, right, Glenn?
Yep, absolutely. This is what that podcast is about. Anything. Just send us whatever. We'll talk about it. And
We got opinions. We're ready to give them.
yeah, yes.
So
yes.
we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Later.